You are listening to CinemaTalk, the official podcast of RuleThirds.com. Nobody thought we'd know this, but we did. And what you'll be listening to today is a discussion regarding movie marketing in the age of information. In other words, the current age of movie making, film going, and nerd internet culture that we are in right now. That was a whole lot of words, but it's going to be a nice, good discussion, I promise you. With that in mind, my name is Max.
And my name is Sean.
And my name is Larry.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? Say what?
I'm back, guys. What a twist! I'm back.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, new rule, and I really need to stress this, guys. When you come back from wherever you came from, you let us know before hijacking the podcast.
I'm
okay?
sorry. Look, Max, if I knew you would go into cardiac arrest, I wouldn't have been such a surprise opener. I'm sorry.
You know how I react to these things, Larry.
To be fair, though, my CPR was pretty tight. What do you think, Sean? I think I got him back.
Yes, the trans internet CPR. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
From literally
just
across.
like how Sean nailed that joke. Anyway,
I did. I nailed it.
Max,
as in nailed
anyway,
into the coffin.
yeah.
As
So,
in I killed comedy.
All right.
Yes.
Yep. What you do on a daily basis. Anyway,
Ooh,
so before we get to anything, Larry, welcome back.
Hello. Hi.
It's good.
Thank
It's good
you
to see
for the
you. It's good
welcome
to
back
hear
party.
from you again. I actually haven't seen you because trans internet. Except that one time, I opened my eyes and you were there, and I was like, "Get the hell away from me!" Because, well, you know.
Yeah, that was
Anyway.
weird. That was a
Yeah.
weird day.
Yeah, don't do that again, please.
Yeah,
Privacy,
okay.
claustrophobic.
I definitely won't. No problem.
Yeah. So it's good to see you again, Larry. It's good to have you back, especially with this upcoming season of so many movies coming out.
Oh yeah.
So many. How can we cover them all, you guys?
Yeah. You know, I just don't know. I think I might pass out. But anyway,
again.
there are, yeah. Anyway, to bring up bad memories.
What's on the site?
Yeah, I was about to go there.
Oh my
On the
goodness.
site this week, we have quite a bit of updates. It's a nice feast of content for you guys, for you proverbial and theoretical listeners. So, first up, we had from last week, the CinemaTalk Celebrity Deaths, which was just the most uplifting
Inspiration.
podcast we've ever had.
Hashtag inspiration.
I thought it was good.
Thank you.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, and thank you, Larry, for editing that right when you got back from your trip. What was it, around the galaxy?
Yeah, weird
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that. Then we had a very important Rule Thirds update regarding certain things happening in the near future. That includes brand new show.
Update. Oh,
Wow,
guys,
the always humble Sean
guys,
Captain.
Why do you
Fine,
sound so high-pitched? Not even a woman sounds like that, listener. I just want to know.
Why are you making fun of my voice? Don't
Now,
be mean,
Max,
Max.
look what you did. You just
you're
offended
alienating our
Sean's
viewer.
squeaky voice. You just offended him.
What? That's not me. That's our dedicated viewer.
Uh-huh, sure.
Anyway,
We
move
also
on.
had some written reviews go up.
Indeed.
Yeah. Sean, what was your written review?
I did The Expendables 3.
And Larry, what was your written review?
I did Snowpiercer.
And Max, what was your written review? Well, I'm not sure if it's up yet, but it either was or is a review of Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, which, if, theoretical listener, you paid attention to, was originally supposed to be a video review, and then, well,
It bombed.
check the box office
hard.
numbers. I still think there's plenty to talk about, which is why I'm still doing a review, but whatever, fine. Then we also had a preview.
Ah, yeah.
Yay!
Finally.
Review.
10.
Yeah.
It happened.
Review.
X.
And it was good. It was Preview X.
Review
X.
Based on
And don't worry, it's Preview X. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this.
yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Hopefully it's not the Final Cut Pro X of episodes.
It was edited on
that-
Final Cut Pro X.
That was...
So.
Can we... Oh, God. Can we stop, please? Keep going. Keep going, please. Max?
Yeah. Let's
What's
stop.
the topic, Max?
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on the site. So thank you for always coming by and checking out our stuff, theoretical listener.
Mhm.
In fact,
Theoretical.
we need to give this guy a name at some point. Anyway, so today we're talking about something very kind of... I don't know if it's so much cynical as it is just kind of ever present and overbearing at times. So, as I mentioned, Sin City: A Dame to Kill For came out recently, and one of the things that came out, one of the pieces of news that leaked right before it came out, was that a specific trailer was going to be shown.
Mm-hmm.
A very specific and very important trailer, because
Well,
I think it's important to the filmmaker behind it, because it
Sure.
represents
Yes.
pretty much his entire
That's true.
character at this point in his filmmaking career. Well, I'm talking about the trailer, the non-filmed trailer for The Hateful Eight, the new film directed by Quentin Tarantino. Now, he's one of my favorite directors, but the whole fact that that's even happening in the first place just boggles my mind. But aside from that, the thing is, one of the big parts about this trailer was that it was not going to be posted on the internet. You guys know about this? It was not going to be posted on the internet. The only way you could see it was if you went to Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Now, obviously, that didn't convince audiences enough to go see the movie, unfortunately, but, well, what can you do?
Wham.
and it went up online.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
it wasn't
I
released
watched it.
Unofficially, right?
No,
I didn't-
unofficially. It was
yeah.
like, shot from a handheld camera or
Mhm.
something.
I still haven't watched it.
I may have watched it, may have downloaded it, may include it in the next quick cuts.
Really?
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was
Nice.
pretty good.
It's gonna be like a bootleg copy of a trailer. That's exciting.
Like the draft of the screenplay that got leaked that eventually
Oh,
led to
yeah.
him canceling the project only to revive it. And oh god, this is a crazy story. That'll be a fun moment in his career. And speaking of trailers, check out the trailer for Men, Women, and Children. You'll like it.
I saw that
Anyway.
one.
I haven't
that
seen
was
it yet.
good.
Oh,
That was great.
awesome. Speaking of
That's
trailers.
a great one.
So, so while we're on the topic of trailers and whatnot, it got me thinking. We live in an age that is so hell-bent on getting information as quickly as possible that we kind of seem to be taking away a lot of the joy and wonder that is movie-going.
Okay, gonna stop you right there, Max. Are you gonna be using that kind of language the entire podcast?
No, I just
Good.
wanted to... No,
'Cause
I just
that's
wanted...
fluffy, meaningless. I've heard it a million times where it's like, oh, movies ruined, the magic is ruined because of this. 3D is ruining the magic of this. It's just not. That's not a discussion worth having.
Yeah,
The
it's
discussion
true.
worth
Wow.
having is just how movies are now presented, what audiences expect going into them. That's a good discussion.
Yeah. And you would
Wow.
know all about Fluff since you
Sean
make preview.
just
Anyway.
took everything we wanted for this topic and smashed it into the ground.
Not
Right
really,
from
though.
inside.
Cynical outlook.
Not
With a
really,
cynical
though.
outlook.
Larry, we let you back in, and only if keep your mouth shut.
Oh please! Oh please!
So,
Don't be like that.
with this trailer in mind, okay, fine, not taking away the joy and wonder, even though I do think it kind of does rob some of the experience that is movie-going, because there is an experience in movie-going.
I
There
would
is.
kind of have to agree with that. Not completely,
Yeah.
but to an extent.
But I do think it's kind of interesting how, as we, progress in, more social media and how we just become an age of just more known information, I feel like, yeah, some of it is taken out. And this
Sure.
is not just known in the Hateful Eight trailer. This is also known in a certain filmmaker who's making a very important movie right now. This is the second example I wanted to bring up. That being the one and only J.J. Abrams and his sort of infamous, sort of famous marketing / movie making style, the Mystery Box. You guys know about this, right?
Nope.
No.
What?
Not
You've never
even a
heard of the
little
Mystery
bit.
Box? All right. Well, J.J. Abrams a while back he did a TED Talk, and TED Talks will always have just boundless information for you. And he basically described his approach to storytelling in a sort of marketing and filmmaking sense called the Mystery Box, where he would basically hide a lot of the information of a movie before seeing it in order to still maintain that sense of question.
Which is
You know,
admirable.
Yeah, for example, Lost. A lot of that was based around the Mystery Box. It was a lot about something happening. You just had to keep watching in order to understand what it was. Cloverfield. The entire premise of that movie was a bunch of people running away from a thing that you could barely even see. In fact, the only way you can see that monster is with it's like if you look online for a concept art, you don't even see it in the movie. It's the idea of what's beyond. What is inside this box that makes you go see the movie. Super 8, perfect example. What does this alien
I was
look like?
actually just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Super 8.
So basically, what J.J. Abrams does is he makes this mystery box in order to, as he puts it, put audiences in the same sense and peace of mind as he was before he would go see a movie as a kid. Because back in those days, you didn't know anything about a movie unless it was the trailer or a poster, and the trailer was usually 3 minutes long, so basically had it spoiled for you right there. So with that in mind, it was just kind of like a time where you just didn't know much about a movie outside of the trailer before seeing it. And then, like, if you didn't even see that, it would just be this whole experience that you wouldn't even be able to, like, see otherwise. Now we live in an age of leaked images, of clips, of photos from the set being seen by everybody. We live in this age of, like, instant information, and it's really good for the most part, but as some people, including myself, have pointed out, it does kind of take away from that, I don't know, experience. You know, like, what J.J. Abrams is doing with Star Wars Episode 7 right now, I think, is very important. I mean, I keep on blabbering on, but, like, what do you guys think? Like, how he's been trickling out, like, little images and concepts of, like, certain things in the Star Wars universe.
I really like it because the point is to make us guess.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff he's released. Like, and he's also having fun with it, but the one that kind of sums it up best for me is he sent a message to people, right? It was written on a note card, and it was in the hand, in some robotic hand.
Yes, I remember
and so,
that.
like, the speculation that came from that was insane.
I remember.
Wait. Can you explain to me? Sorry, I was...
You don't know about the picture?
Not the picture. No, I know about the things he did for Force for Change, but
Oh, well, that was
This
what
is
I was
different.
going to say. I really liked how in his Force for Change video, some creature just walked behind him.
or
you
he
just
got,
kinda
or
like-
he saw an X-wing.
We did
Which
see the
means-
new
We did
X-Wing.
see the X-Wing.
Yeah, which
That's true.
brings
And
the
we
question
have
why even
seen,
an X-wing would exist in this new era of Peace for the Republic. Okay, sorry.
and we
Sorry.
have seen pictures of Tatooine also.
Well, yeah, it's a desert. Spoiler.
God,
I
jeez,
thought it would
Sean.
be like freaking New Orleans by now.
I know. Me too.
Anyway.
I'm disappointed.
But that hand picture, that was smart.
So,
Good on him.
I mean, it's funny. We're talking about space movie. We're talking about showing, like, ruining some of the magic.
Here we go.
I specifically try to avoid Interstellar trailers, specifically the last one, because I was really worried it would spoil something. I don't know if it did or not. That's kind of a problem. I have to see the movie. But, yeah, I do get the need for, like, we don't know. It's, anticipation when you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Just a tip for anybody who's interested in Interstellar: don't go on the IMDb page.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Don't even touch it.
What?
I haven't been on it.
I
Because
know.
one of my
what is spoiled?
favorite
What is spoiled?
reviewers,
Just some.
it
I can't
spoils
even
some of
say.
the elements. It spoils
Wait,
some
is
of
it
the
some
elements.
plot details or some character
Yeah,
names or?
like plot details.
Both at the same
Yeah.
time. Character names give away plot details. I'll put it that way.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
In a
Yeah.
really
We're in for one
annoying
wild
way.
ride this November.
I
I
read
know.
I read some theories in the comments, and I think I might have been spoiled also. But to be fair, it's brilliant. But anyway, the point I do want to bring up a specific example in which I actually do agree with Max just a little bit. Last year, one of the films that we ended up reviewing for CinemaTalk was Prisoners. Me and Max went to go see that one, and it was kind of off the flip of a coin because we didn't really have much experience or knowledge about that film at all.
Yeah.
So before I walked in, I watched one trailer and I watched one review, which was pretty much nothing but, hey, yo, this movie's awesome, go see it. Didn't really reveal many details. So I went in to go see it, and I was blown away. Like, I knew nothing going in, and it ended up being one of my favorite films of that year. Because the experience of just watching that film and being completely dramatically engaged within the suspense and the mystery of the film was really not like many other films. I can only recall maybe one or two films in theaters that I've seen that had a similar experience. So I have to agree with Max. There's definitely an experience that can be had when seeing a movie without knowing much information about it. Now, to be fair, is every movie ruined by advertising, with all the trailers and things like that? No, of course not. I can name several examples where that's not the case. But going in not knowing does add suspense, which is an obvious, kind of a thrill with the movie.
Like, I think, one of the big parts, I think, if you look on the opposite end, with movies that, like, kind of show off their entire story through the marketing and try and get audiences based on that story or based on that, based on that, those images or money shots or whatever. Like,
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna use that,
seriously,
or How to Train
screw
Your
Amazing
Dragon
Spider-Man 2. Seriously.
Okay, regardless of what our opinions are of it, whether negative or positive,
Sorry.
that movie had a lot of it not so much spoiled, but just revealed. I think there's a difference between spoiling a movie and just revealing it. Because
Right.
if you reveal a movie, like, I mean, sure, there's not going to be much spoiled, but the only thing that's going to be, like, not shown is the ending.
The final shot of the damn movie was shown in their trailers.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yes, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 featured not only that, but the action sequence that ends the movie is in the trailers.
Now, here's another thing, though. People talk about that like look at what they showed in the trailer. Oh my goodness. But did we know?
We didn't know. Yes, there's a point I was just thinking. We didn't know that.
So we didn't know that was the last scene. And of course, it's the one with Rhino, right?
Well,
Yeah.
it was kind of a crappy experience to be watching the movie and then seeing like, oh my god, they're gonna end it. Oh my god, really? It's as if like it was just an infuriating experience. Now, I'm gonna be honest, that did not. I want to trust myself enough to know that did not change my opinion on the film,
Okay.
whether or not I'd seen that.
Can I make a quick point?
But
So the extension of that, like, did we know that was the ending when we were watching the trailers? Of course we didn't. We hadn't seen the movie.
No.
And now some would argue, but when you're watching the film,
mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, I haven't seen that fight yet. Spidey's not in danger. Well,
Yeah.
like, oh, spoiler. However, I like to bring up a counterexample of that. So if a movie's doing its job well, that's not a problem. Because this wasn't just trailer stuff. This was a movie announcement. Marvel had announced Iron Man 3.
Yes.
I went to Avengers. Iron Man flies through the wormhole. I was incredibly nervous that Iron Man was going to die there.
Me too.
Right. I completely forgot that there was Iron Man 3, because the movie was doing its job.
That happens. I will say that definitely happens.
Yeah, so sometimes I think it's okay. Now, some examples, like everyone brings up Pearl Harbor. You know, like
Oh God.
Ben Affleck dies, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
He's shot down in like a quarter of the way through the film, and then
Mhm.
he comes back. It's supposed to be a shock. Except the trailer showed him in a bunch of action scenes later in the movie. Like in that case, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to buy it.
not
we're not going
okay.
to buy it.
I
Because-
I remember another example. Someone spoiled the end of credit scene for the Avengers for me.
I remember this.
Oh my
What an
god,
asshole.
that pissed. That pissed me off greatly, especially because I really didn't know what to expect. Like legit, I didn't know. But as I was
Wait,
watching
which after the
The
credits?
mid credits you're probably talking about.
the mid, yeah,
the
Not the
important
shawarma one.
yeah, the important one, not the shawarma one. But the Avengers, the final battle in Avengers was so like had so many emotions flowing through me. I totally forgot that there was an end credit scene to begin with. And so when like the final battle ended and like everything was over, I was just like, wow, can it get any better? And then Thanos showed up. And I totally forgot that he was even supposed to be here until the very moment his face showed up.
Nice. Yeah, see, same thing. Again, Avengers.
Yeah.
If you take anything away from this podcast, Avengers is an awesome movie.
Yeah,
Go watch
seriously.
Yeah,
Go
there's a lot
watch
to
it. It's
think
on
about in that
Netflix,
movie,
guys.
too.
Go watch it. Seriously.
it. Mhm.
Man,
Okay,
such a good
but
movie.
outside of that, okay, fine. I will, like, forgetting about certain things in movies and whatnot, fine. But at the same time, those are announcements, which, yeah, make sense and whatnot. Now, what about implications? Like, going back, and I don't mean to, like, always bring this up, because I mean, it's not really my whipping boy, but it is sort of my whipping boy for this year so far. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's a certain TV spot, and it basically says, it has Electro saying this, and I'm not even sure he says this in the movie, but he says, if you want to be the hero, you gotta pay the price. And there is a shot, spoiler,
It's fine, everyone knows.
There is a shot with
Spoilers.
Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy. And yes, in the movie, Sean, I'm sorry to spoil this for you, unless it's already been spoiled, well, a certain event from about 40 years ago in the comics. that
When
was very
Stacy
important.
dies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
God,
This isn't
come on,
shocking.
Max. No, okay. See, here's the difference with that, though, Max. That theory began far before the film even was released. There was a photo that was shown, and I really didn't like that they did this because I don't know if it was unintentional, but it was such a big example of why you shouldn't show too many set photos. A set photo was shown of Gwen Stacy, and she was wearing the exact same outfit.
Oh, I remember
as
this, yeah.
the character does in the comic in which she passes.
Didn't
in
we
which
talk about this on the
she's killed.
podcast before?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, I want to bring it up again because it's very relevant to this conversation. So right when that happened, I pretty much knew. Even so, I took that out of my head and I said, look, whatever happens in Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's gonna happen. Then, 10 minutes in the film, Gwen Stacy gives a whole like huge speech at graduation about like, oh, sometimes we have to pay the price, whether we live or die. And I'm like, yeah, you're dead. You're so
that's fair. The movie,
you're so dead.
Dead. Spider-Man's girlfriend.
You can
dead.
tell. You can tell when a character's like, you're so dead. You're so dead.
I mean, and that's just blatant. Like that's just poorly written.
Right. And to be fair, if I have to give Amazing Spider-Man 2, hold on, just let me finish real quick. I'm almost done. If I have to give Amazing Spider-Man 2 some credit, the dramatic element of that death scene was probably one of the only good things about Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No.
Okay. Yes.
It was terrible.
I thought it was good. I actually legitimately thought the
web
silence.
hand.
That was really silly. I've seen the scene.
Okay, listen. I'm not saying every part of it. I'm just saying the key moment in which you have to guess for yourself whether or not that her neck was snapped or she fell or whatever. I felt that was executed well. Still, though, the movie was so obvious about it. It kind of shot itself in the foot.
Sean, you had a point?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up that sometimes, I don't know if this is entirely relevant. In fact, I don't know if this podcast is even any good so far. I'm really questioning that. Anyway,
wow.
I'm going to bring up a point. Hopefully you find it relevant. Sometimes you can sometimes if you know the ending, you can actually build the movie around that. And I think in the case of Amazing Spider-Man 2 and quite a few other films, knowing the ending, if they play with it, that's good. And the trailers can even enforce that. So if the trailers say, hey guys, Gwen Stacy dies. And then the movie says, hey guys, Gwen Stacy dies. And guess what? They build up to that. They make sure the audience knows it's going to happen. Like, it's fine. It's fine if the movie worked with it. Now, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know if it worked with it well, or if it was even trying, or if it was just bad foreshadowing, like you said, Larry.
Terrible foreshadowing. Trust me.
But I'm just saying, sometimes trailers, advertisements can play a role in expectations, and you can you can defy the expectations or work with it.
Yeah, I agree. Some trailers can show the ending to a film and kind of do like the whole backtrack kind of thing.
Okay, that brings up a good example of another movie that came out this year. I like how we're using examples for this year. I think that's good.
Totally
a movie that kind of deceived with its marketing and what it was showing was Godzilla. Godzilla showed a very different movie than what was marketed.
Yeah, I did like that.
And I don't like the idea of deceiving an audience into thinking something else and then define their expectations because that's just kind of cheap. But I like how they did it in this. I don't know. It just
they did a very good job. Okay, listen, guys. I'm sorry. Spoilers for Godzilla. It's been out for a while. It's on DVD. It's not a good
excuse, but whatever.
Was it on DVD? Did it come on DVD yet?
No, and that's not a good excuse. It's been out for a while.
I won't spoil it. But they did a very good job of concealing a specific moment that happens in the first third. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
How one of the characters that was highly marketed...
Oh, yeah.
Right. That was well done. And that's a good example of how you can conceal something like that. And I admire how they did... Because when that happened, I was like, what? No, why? Whatever. But, that was a good example of using marketing to still be able to conceal things. And I admire Godzilla for that.
Yeah.
If anything.
And, I mean... Again, I don't really like the idea, like the concept of basically kind of not lying, but basically kind of concealing the actual truth to an audience and being, and making it more simplistic. But at the same time, bringing in a much more simplistic storyline to the trailers, as in Godzilla's just fucking here and he's going to stomp all over the place, instead of the much more elaborate storyline that the film portrayed. Again, I can kind of understand that. Plus, that very simple storyline told in the trailers led to a lot of really good moments that people will remember long after the movie. Like, seriously, those trailers were awesome. But
they were.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, for example, in the very first trailer for Godzilla, a great trailer, by the way, it begins with the Halo jump. And the trailer shows, I'm going to spoil the movie. I don't, not because it's been out for a while.
I tried so hard not to spoil the movie.
I'm going to spoil it.
I'm
going to spoil it. I'm sorry. Cover your ears. I don't know. But in the movie, in the trailer, it shows that they are going in because they need to stop Godzilla. In the movie, it's because they're going in to see what the hell is going on in this battle. Because everybody's already, if I'm not mistaken, everybody's either evacuated or out of the city by the time Godzilla faces off against the two MUTOs. MUTOs.
Yeah, I believe so.
So that was a great way to introduce the film in the trailer, and then also kind of give an interesting perspective of kind of a bookend to both the trailer and the movie. this is why I'm starting to think that marketing is having a bigger place in storylines as the years progress. Not very quickly, but, as it goes on. I mean, one could argue, and I'm not saying that I would completely argue that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is basically movie marketing storytelling right there. Getting other people to see different movies and advertising those movies because they saw this movie, without a single trailer or clip or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel has kind of redefined this whole end of movie after credits scene that we've been seeing a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Iron Man 2, the Thor end credit scene was after Iron Man 2, I believe. Is that correct?
It was after. Yeah.
When I saw Iron Man 2 in theaters, I waited. Well, actually, no. I stuck around for the credits because I couldn't get my family out of the theater because they were tired and they wanted to relax or something. So I was in the theater. And then I watched the Thor end credits scene. Is it really amazing? No. But when I was younger, thinking that Thor was going to make it on the big screen, I was sold. You got me. Ticket will be purchased day one. Like,
okay.
You didn't even have to like try. Just seeing the hammer there, you knew something big was happening.
Okay, yeah.
And that was
with that in mind, Larry, it goes back to the original idea. Like the original concept of, the modern internet age. By the time Iron Man 2 had come out, if I'm not mistaken, I had seen a picture of Thor, Chris Evans as Thor for the first time.
Chris Evans as Thor.
Yeah.
Chris Evans as Thor, yes.
Wait, did I say Chris Evans? I'm sorry, Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
Nice.
Shut up.
Chris Pratt, Captain America.
Oh my
Chris
God.
Hemsworth.
There are too many Chris's
so
in the MCU
as Chris
now.
Pines as Thor, with that, I had seen a picture
Chris
of that.
Pine?
I don't know.
That's Captain Kirk.
I don't know
Dude,
anymore.
come on.
Okay, fine. Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I'd seen that for the first, I had seen that before I saw the movie. So when I saw the hammer, I'm like, oh, okay, put two and two together. Had I not either been younger or had that picture not been posted on the internet, I would have lost it. My mind would have been soaring with questions. What does Thor look like? What does this world look like? What is this all about? I think seeing the image on the internet, which by the way was my doing entirely, I was just interested as I was a sophomore in high school. That was my doing. I still think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if just that hammer had been the only thing that they had known up at this point. I use Marvel because they are movies right now, basically. Not the film industry entirely, but they are the thing that is talked about these days when regarding movies. And I think their whole approach to marketing is very good. Now,
yes, they've had. I just step in my own personal thing.
Yeah, you have spoken
great
5
years.
Oh, excellent trailers, man! Lots of great trailers.
Mostly Iron Man 3 had a great one. And then I covered the entire Guardians of the Galaxy lineup.
Yeah, except for that third one. There wasn't a single other trailer that was really good. Not a single other one, right, John? No, not a single other one.
Right. But here's I wanna okay, so if you've been following superhero news recently, there's been a lot of news breaking out. We've had confirmations on movies like Ant-Man. Ant-Man's in production. Actually, a picture of Paul Rudd went out recently in that for his role. Doctor Strange was announced. I don't want to make this a whole superhero discussion again, even though I could talk about it for hours. But essentially, the next 3 to 4 years of superhero movies were announced. Release dates were given. And already speculation is running high. And a part of me saying, this is awesome, I get to see these people. But another part of me is thinking, wouldn't it have been a little bit more exciting if I wasn't already thinking of all these ideas? Wouldn't it have been awesome if I saw a Black Panther after credit scene after Ant-Man?
Yeah.
You know how much my mind would have exploded?
What if, okay.
It's happening.
I'm going to throw out a very minor spoiler for Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It's not a huge plot point, but I think it's worth mentioning. What if Doctor Strange had never been announced? If that had never been announced, and then all of a sudden you hear whatever he was in the movie, whatever his name is, say a name drop Stephen Strange, I would be jumping out of my seat. I don't know that much about Doctor Strange, but that would be excited because it would mean that they would be including a new character. Stephen Strange, not the most well-known superhero or Marvel character, but still,
badass, man.
Still
Great
a known figure. But, like, I think... You know what? I think the best way to describe this is expanding the marketing and expanding, like, teasers and whatnot has lessened the experience. And I think a lot of this doesn't have to do with Marvel specifically, but it has to do with a lot with, like, just... Basically, their formula works so well because the movies are so good and because they can pretty much do whatever they want. People have been following in their footsteps. Like, let's see, how do I best describe this? I would rather, personally, have a trailer or an end credit scene basically announce a movie more than a headline on an online news article. Yes. I would rather see a teaser trailer, like
Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
got what an amazing reveal.
Yeah, that was a great reveal. I mean, even though it was just basically like some helmets and whatnot. Like,
it was so good.
Yeah, it was cool.
Even though we already knew Avengers 2 was happening because that's just simple logic.
Yeah,
we didn't know what it was going to be.
And now we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we've gotten a ton of information on Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Moving away from superheroes and more into other aspects of the franchise age, if you guys remember when the Peanuts movie was announced, do you remember this? This was like a year or two ago. Yeah. There was so much cynicism, so much negativity spewed at this movie, because from what people understood, it was like a 3D, a CG Peanuts movie. And
well, I mean, to be fair, whenever you hear about a nostalgic property becoming a movie, especially with the bad track record of like Alvin and the Chipmunks and the Smurfs, everyone's gonna flip out a little bit.
Now, take that and then look at the trailer that Fox released. I believe it was around Christmas last year. And there was a really positive outcome. And I mean, that's from me. I thought the footage that was shown was freaking amazing. I think it would have been better to announce the Peanuts movie with that footage at that time as opposed to announcing it right out of the gate. I think it kind of goes back to our discussion on the value of something a few months back. If you have so much marketing and so much announcements of a movie, the impact lessens. But if you have like one trailer or two trailers showing it, boom. Huge. I mean, like, okay, Sean, take for example the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. What would have happened if, before the first trailer came out, a week prior, Marvel released a bunch of images regarding like the trailer, like showing like certain money shots from the trailer before the trailer came out? You know what I mean? Like if they showed Gamora with the Dragon Slayer, or if they showed like
Groot,
or Groot, or like, the scene with Rocket Raccoon firing his gun with Groot screaming or whatever.
They did.
They did?
I saw that, yeah.
The
shot of Rocket was like 7 months before the trailer.
Oh.
It's my favorite shot from the trailer. It's a close-up of Rocket spinning around with his gun.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
was it really? I thought the only image released was that kind of lineup thing.
But was that the only thing? Or was there more?
No, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that was it.
I'd seen it before.
But to be fair, though, those were the two most skeptical characters going in because they were the most not human. So it was actually kind of smart.
That's another issue. That's another thing entirely. But still, I don't know. I feel like it lessens the impact. I think that's what we're trying to get at here. In the age of information, the impact is lessened. The impact of like something advertising or something being shown to you, I think it's being lessened by so much information coming at us. Like, a trailer can get you so excited. Like, for example, let's see, like, alright, fine, I'll use this example. Because, I mean, we're talking about Marvel movies. Captain America, the first Avenger, what was at the very end of that movie? You guys remember, right?
Yeah, New York.
Well, no, the very end of the movie after the credits.
Oh, it was just a trailer for Avengers.
Yeah. Like, that drove me nuts. Maybe it was already revealed beforehand, but I personally did not know there was going to be a trailer at the end for Avengers. I mean, I knew there was going to be a post-credits scene, but I didn't know there was going to be a trailer. So, that made a huge impact on me because I hadn't seen it coming. And that's another thing. Just, like, when it comes to marketing, let us be surprised. Isn't that a good way to put it? Like,
sure.
I personally would prefer if people just did not post that Hateful Eight trailer up, even though I don't think it's all that, all worth getting excited about. I mean,
I think it's pretty great.
I mean, Tarantino doesn't really doesn't need trailers to convince me anymore, personally. But my point is, like, I think it would be better if the people just respected the fact that it was going to be, that it was only supposed to be in the movie, and just leave it there. And let it just be like this thing that you can only describe with words. And, I mean, you can only describe a trailer with so many words. Like, there was speaking of, recent movies, there was a text description for what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles looked like in the Jonathan Liebesman movie before they were shown. I mean, it was so weird. Like, you couldn't actually picture them in your head. Like, I don't know. It just I think when it comes down to is that the impact is lessened as we continue to maybe it also comes from the fact that more and more really cool things are being like announced, like that more nostalgic properties like the Peeps are now getting movies. I think that impact is also being lessened, but with all the marketing, kind of takes it away. I don't know. I keep rambling here. I'm waiting for you guys to say something.
Yeah,
please.
If I can play devil's advocate, though this marketing and advertising does lessen it, they kind of have to. They have to, release this stuff, because in this day and age of attention spans that are constantly dwindling, if you don't reveal something, if you don't even just a little bit, every once in a while, people are just, wow, I just moved the pop filter. People are going to forget, because there's so many superhero movies and there's so many influential directors out there.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't reveal it. I'm saying when you reveal it once and powerfully, instead of like trickling out information.
I know. I mean, if J.J. Abrams is lucky, he's doing Star Wars, because if he did this kind of thing with any other, property, it probably wouldn't go as well.
Yeah,
People would just be like, "Oh, whatever," and just move on.
Like, I think teaser trailers are a great example of leaving an impact. And on the topic of J.J. Abrams, the first Star Trek teaser trailer made me really excited, even though I wasn't a big Star Trek fan, because I knew the Enterprise and it was being made. It was like, oh my god, it's a metaphor for the movie itself. It was crazy. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that worked really well. Again, it was that impact. It was subtle, but it was impactful. And then hearing that cool little what is it? That sound effect at the very end. It was powerful and it made me excited. I think I mean, personally, I think you don't need a single trailer to get people in the theater for Age of Ultron. Personally. I don't think they would need to at all. They're going to anyway. I mean, obviously, we're talking about realistically here, but I don't believe at this point the only big impact you can make that isn't bigger than the movie itself is if you showed the movie itself before it came out. Pretty much. When the movie, when that movie comes out, it's going to be huge. Whether or not it's going to be good, we'll find out.
It's going to be huge.
But I don't, crazy. That I think it's time for people to kind of. Hollywood needs to start becoming understanding and coming to terms with the value of its properties. Again, Avengers don't really need much. Really don't need much to get people in.
No, I was just thinking. It's I get that you have to reveal stuff, but you can reveal a good chunk of your movie without totally ruining it. To go back to Prisoners, the trailers for those movies don't show really that much. They show, at least at length, they show the first 20 minutes. They show all the info you get in the first 20 minutes. And then, in the theater, as I was watching Prisoners, I was like, well, that's all I knew.
Okay.
What's going to happen?
With that in mind, Sean, you had an entire episode based on a trailer that only showed the first 15 minutes of the movie.
I did, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's about the quality of certain things. However, I will say that in terms of trailer and marketing and whatnot, it still got me excited because of the one shot it showed in space with that wormhole got me interested. It was wow.
That's the thing. It didn't matter if it was a bad trailer because it got me really excited for Interstellar.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, if it didn't show that last part, I would have gotten excited at all. But what it did show was that one shot of them going into the wormhole, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what got me interested. Not all the stuff about Murphy's Law. No, I think that's pretty cool.
I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying, you really gotta, filmmakers, you really gotta try. I mean, you can reveal a good chunk of your movie, but you can still make an incredibly engaging movie. Prisoners was a great example. Now, if we talk about another example like Guardians of the Galaxy, where I couldn't have possibly seen any more, online stuff. I constantly was looking up trailers, pictures, interviews. I saw the whole 9 yards for Guardians of the Galaxy, but yet I still loved it just as much as I would if I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good thing to end on. That's a good question to end on. does our knowledge of a movie before going in seriously impact our opinions of it? What do you think, Sean?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so, but I have my own note to end on. The problem... You suggested this topic, Max, and I realized I wouldn't have too much to say because really I can sum it up in just a few sentences. We talk about this... We've been talking for the last 40 minutes about, yes, it lessens the impact, and I agree. I have to agree. It does lessen the impact. Like, that's why I wanted to stay away from the Interstellar stuff, because I'm really excited for that movie, and I didn't want to know what was going to happen. I wanted to be there in the film in November. It was all new. It was all new to me. It was all mystery, nothing but potential. That went okay. Again, I don't think the trailer spoiled too much. But here's the thing. Even if the trailer shows a lot of the movie, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, or shows some critical things that probably maybe shouldn't have, because it kind of spoils while you're watching, great. It doesn't matter if the trailer shows too much of the movie, and it lessens the experience. Because for me, I would not trade the experience of watching a trailer for that difference. I wouldn't trade that little bit of difference of lessening the impact for how much I love watching trailers. That's why this was hard cinema talk for me to do. I've been really quiet because I don't care, because the payoff for me is worth it. This is a personal thing. I totally get where other people are coming from. They say, why did it ruin the movie for me? Like Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think it has some really good trailers. I think there was one in particular I really, really liked. So I don't care if it's spoiled a lot, because I enjoyed that trailer. Because I'm still going to see the movie, I'm still going to recognize it good or bad the same amount. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, from my personal perspective...
Your love for the art of trailers has overcome your love of suspense in a movie.
Whoa,
not entirely.
I don't think that's it at all. No.
The difference is worth it. The difference is worth it. So yes,
Sean is willing to put up with trailers like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, or, as I brought up earlier, How to Train Your Dragon 2, for that trailer.
Right.
Now then there comes the issue of, do you even...
With Guardians of the Galaxy, I was really excited for that movie, and the trailer showed a lot. Okay, it showed a lot. When I was watching the movie for the 4th time in theaters, I realized just how much it had shown. But I would not trade those trailers for anything. Those are awesome trailers. Like, nothing that movie could give me would be worth it. Because I love those trailers.
This is not kind of hard for me, too, because I also love trailers. But, I mean, I just...
Trailers are undeniably subservient to the film. But they are their own thing, and we kind of have to respect that, too. Because Interstellar is what happens. I guarantee Nolan had a death grip on how much they could show in that trailer. I bet he's to blame for it not being that great.
Okay. All right. I can see that, Sean. Now, I want to bring this up because I think it's a good note to end on. I think it's a good way to end on. Unless you guys have any final thoughts. Like, Larry, do you have any final thoughts?
Nope. I think Sean makes a good point, and I totally understand.
Yeah, me too. Now, Sean, you and I were talking about this earlier, and I apologize for bringing this up. But I'm really wondering, because you said that, see, Larry, and we didn't talk, and I want to say this, we did not talk to Larry about it before. I did not talk to Larry about this, and not to Sean about this. But Sean and I were discussing the idea for the three of us to only watch the first trailer for Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And not watch the other trailers. Like, either leave this theater, or, like, cover our eyes and ears, or make every possible way we can to avoid the trailers for Age of Ultron. Because no matter how awesome those trailers were going to be, we were going to see it. Not just because of Rule Thirds, because we know we're going to go see it.
Because we love superhero movies, and because we don't want to be like shot. I like a lot of like one of the cool parts about like doing like a kind of like what is it in a trailer? The final climax, the third act usually has like some great music and like some really fast editing. One of the cool parts about that is that you can show a lot of money shots in a very short amount of time. The thing that takes away from it is that a lot of the money shots are like taken from certain parts of the movie, including the end, which I usually don't like to do. But it's still, I think, like, I don't want to see any of that at all. I don't want to see like even one explosion. I want to be almost completely like, and my train of thought just stopped. I want to be completely like spoiler free or reveal. I'm sorry, not spoiler free. Reveal free. Does that make sense?
Expectations free. You have no idea what to expect.
No idea what to expect. No idea the concept art, that's it. I see Hulkbuster armor, that's it. Like, I was wondering, Sean, Larry, would you still be down for doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Even for that experience, Sean? You wouldn't
Yeah.
trade the experience, but you would for this?
Well, the problem is that I can't shake this feeling that Age of Ultron is going to be my favorite movie of all time.
What?
So, I have this weird thing. I don't know why. Everything built around it like it's just going to be this amazing film.
Careful, Sean.
I know.
Tread
I'm just
lightly.
saying. I'm just saying. I'm really excited for it. But Marvel does do great trailers, so I'm going to see the first one.
Yeah. Let's all see the
review
first
it.
one, and then what do you say, Larry?
Wow, that's
Come
not
on.
obnoxious at all, Larry.
I don't know.
Oh, good. Let's repeat it.
Oh, that's the best answer, obviously.
Look, I mean, I really want to see what happens in Age of Ultron. I'm not
Well, you
gonna
will
lie.
when you see the movie in May.
But I guess just for the experience.
All right, we got you
I'll
heard it here
watch
first,
only
folks.
the first trailer.
The Age of Ultron trailer challenge that actually has no trailers in challenge because you don't.
That's one.
Awesome, yeah, one trailer and that's it. Don't theoretical listeners don't tweet to us about any of the things you see in that trailer because
So
we're not
wait.
going to see it.
Okay, so that means the next upcoming trailer, we watch that one, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
That's it. All right, that's a great way to end this, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us. I know it's a bit weird, but I think a lot of the stuff that we say is it's worth listening to. But maybe we're not at the point where we're like really. Maybe because it's a podcast, it's kind of a live thing. We just kind of it doesn't flow as well as we'd like it to be. I don't know, but I think it was a good discussion. I don't know.
I
For
do
Larry's
also.
comeback episode, I think it worked well. And
I do as well.
For all those hypothetical Larry fans out there, yes, he will host the next episode.
Yay!
Yeah, Larry's the best. Oh, good. Our
See?
fans back.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You
Thank
have 2
weird
weeks.
fan.
You have 2 weeks to think of a topic idea, Larry.
1
Oh,
week.
wait,
Better be good.
One week.
1 week. Excuse me. 1 week.
Don't worry. I'll
Good luck
think
to
of
you.
something.
Yeah. Awesome. With that in mind, thank you for listening. I hope you have a lovely Labor Day weekend, since it's just begun. If you're listening to this on the Saturday that it comes down. If not, hope your weekend, week, whatever, is freaking great. As great as the movies we see all time. My name is Max.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Larry.
Here is later, guys.
To get ourselves a treat, let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.